Hello, good evening. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. This is India Upfront and I'm Heena Gambhir. Viewers, a torch in the name of regional pride has been set aflame. Fuel is being added to it daily. Political dividends and electoral gains may be the motive, but such fires are dangerous. They can trigger an emotive blaze. It has happened in the past and there are no guarantees for the future. There are daily additions that are being made to the divisive agenda. First fissure attempted was language. Second, regional imbalance. And now it's the script. The latest target, viewers, is a national symbol. Like peacock is our national bird, the Bengal tiger is our national animal, the lotus is our national flower, the banyan tree is our national tree, the Indian rupee is our national currency. You know, in July 2010, India officially adopted this rupee symbol that you can see on your screens right now. It is an amalgamation of Devanagari Ra and the Roman capital R. Two parallel horizontal stripes that you see, they represent the Tiranga and the equal to sign. It was adopted by the government of India on 15 July 2010. At that time, UPA was in power. DMK, as UPA partner, had its men in the Union Cabinet headed by Dr. Manmohan Singh. Representing the DMK as ministers in the council were MK Allegorical, son of Karunanidhi and brother of mkstalin, who is the chief minister of Tamil Nadu right now. A. Raja and Dayanidhi Maran, who in fact is the grandnephew of late Mr. Karunanidhi. They all said an eager yes to it. Why am I telling you all of this? Wait, let me explain to you what the story today is. Today, Tamil Nadu government led by mkstalin jettisoned the symbol of our national currency. Our national currency, that's Indian rupee, and replaced it with Tamil letter Ru in the official logo for its state budget. Now, DMK says it does not want to use Devanagari. For the DMK, the symbol is yet another push for Hindi on the Tamil people. Let me add yet another layer of information here, which makes the opposition to this symbol quite surprising. You know, this rupee symbol in 2010 was actually designed by a Tamilian. Yes, D. Udaya Kumar. That's not all. The designer was the son of a former DMK MLA. Yes, a DMK MLA's son, viewers, designed the symbol. A symbol designed by a Tamilian, approved and cleared by a union cabinet with DMK as a member, officially launched by a government, has today been rejected by the DMK government in Tamil Nadu, led by Mr. mkstalin. One wonders why this somersault by the DMK. Why for 15 years it had no problems with the rupee symbol at all. If one has been following the events of the last few months, a pattern seems to be emerging. And viewers, this is the third flashpoint Tamil Nadu's ruling DMK, assisted by the Congress party in the state, has fabricated. The target, of course, is the centre, the BJP, and the North Indian states dominated by the BJP. First was the NEP, Hindi versus Tamil. Second was the delimitation exercise, North versus South. And third, and the latest, is the national currency symbol, Tamil script versus the Devanagari script. Now, it is said, once is a chance, twice is a coincidence, and thrice is a conspiracy. So we ask tonight, is this a political conspiracy for electoral gains? Is the DMK rejecting what it created 15 years ago to start an identity game? Is the DMK Supremo mkstalin working at a polarization? And it's not rocket science why it's happening. Well, elections to Tamil Nadu Assembly are to be held in 2026. Watch the war of words on this story today.
Universal rupee symbol has been replaced with Ru, Tamil Ru. It has been it has becoming controversy in national level. How can they replace? Does that have any significance? Why we are using Ru?
We don't want to use Devanagari. That's all.
Rupee na Ru தான போட முடியும். So தமிழாக்கம் பண்ணிருக்காங்க. So it's very clandestine வந்து அது வந்து ரிஃப்ளெக்ட் பண்ணிருக்காங்க. ஸோ இங்கிலீஷ் வெர்ஷன் வரும்போது நீங்கள் இருக்கிற லோகோ இருக்கும். தமிழ் வெர்ஷனுக்கு ரூ போடுறது லாஜிக்கல். அதுதானே எண்ட் ஆஃப் தி டே எவ்ரி ஒன் வாண்ட்ஸ். தாய்மொழியை வந்து முன்னேற்றத்துக்கான வழிமுறை தானே ஒன்றிய அரசு சொல்லிட்டு இருக்காங்க, எல்லா லீடர்ஸும் சொல்கிறாங்க. And we are on that particular.
The Tamilian designed it. The whole nation is very proud that a Tamilian designed it and the whole nation accepted it. And you are degrading the pride of a Tamilian. And this is highly ridiculous when they say we are replacing when the whole nation is following one symbol. That is against national integrity. They are always divisive in their mindset.
And joining us on the debate this evening are my guests. We have with us Tushar Gupta, who is a political analyst, Sanjay Jha, who is an author. Good evening to both of you. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. Sanjay Jha, I want to begin this debate with you this evening. I was presenting some facts for our viewers, and I want to ask you, why after 15 years DMK is rejecting what was approved by DMK, a symbol that was created by a Tamilian, something that was approved by the UPA government when DMK had 3 of its leaders as ministers when Dr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister. What has happened today, in your opinion?
Heena, good evening. And to my friend, I think, Tushar. I believe that, frankly speaking, this is a statement which is meant to be as an allegorical or a symbolic protest on the 3-language formula. We have been seeing that it has resulted in an extremely acrimonious debate. And the Tamil Nadu government, and Mr. Stalin has been extremely vocal on this, is that they will continue to adhere to the 2-language formula. And I think the worry that a lot of people will have, anybody who follows Indian democracy and believes in cooperative federalism, will worry that the central government has linked the disbursal of funds under the scheme to the fact that the Tamil Nadu government must adhere to the 3-language formula, which is not what they have been doing for a long time. So I think the government of Tamil Nadu is seeing this as extremely authoritarian, very draconian, and one that they don't want to really kind of follow. So I think this is not about anything other than a protest, which is more like some kind of what's the right word to use for it would be like a protest state, more in terms of an analogy or an allegory, a symbolic demonstrance against the central government that on the 3-language form.
Okay. We are also joined by S. Harish Mohammad Ibrahim, who is a political analyst. Good evening to you as well. Before I come to you, S. Harish, I want to go across to Tushar Gupta. How would you like to respond to what Mr. Sanjay Jha has to say? Because on the ground, what we are seeing, that there is some kind of a pattern. Of course, we know elections are coming in Tamil Nadu. What is it that is happening? Because here, this time, DMK government in Tamil Nadu has rejected our national symbol, our national pride. I mean, it's no longer about the language or delimitation. They've gone a step further. Don't you think it is dangerous?
Good evening, Heena. Look, absolutely. It's dangerous, it's incorrect, it's uncalled for, and moreover, it's childish. I agree when Sanjay Ji says that it's very symbolic in nature, but what really are they trying to do here? The currency changes, the symbols on the currency, the notes we use in our routine changes? No, it doesn't. They have fantastic manufacturing assembly lines in Tamil Nadu. Will they start sort of implementing that language formula, imposing it on the manufacturing assembly lines in the factories? No, absolutely not. What does the DMK government in the state of Tamil Nadu achieve by removing the rupee symbol from the state budget? Absolutely nothing. Does the capex change? The nature of investments required change? Their relationship with the center change? Absolutely not. One can understand that they do not like the 3-language formula which has been implemented by the center. But at the end of the day, NEP is something that has been implemented by the government of India. You do not like it? Create an option at the state level. Give people the option to choose. It's that simple. If you do not like something that the center is doing, give people the right to choose between what you are offering and what the government of India is. Why does it need to be so complicated? Why does it have to be about some regional pride? Why do we get into this debate all the time, every time an election is due? I remember this pattern in Karnataka. Suddenly it was all about the local language, local reservation. We can't function like that. Look, states like Tamil Nadu, states like Karnataka, these are hardcore economic powerhouses. These are like the mitochondria of India, Indian economy. We are looking at them in the next 10 years to become trillion-dollar economy states. And when the governments there resort to such childish behavior, such uncalled behavior, it really looks, unimaginative.
Okay. Sanjay Jha, you called it symbolic, but as Tushar also mentioned about, the implications it could really have. So I want to ask you, symbolism in politics is very, very important. And the logo that we are talking about that has been rejected, it's not just the logo of our national currency. There is much more to it. It symbolizes India. It's not just about Devanagari that DMK wants to reject. There is a representation of Indian tricolour. So DMK government in Tamil Nadu is trying to reject that also. I have this picture with me. Here in this picture, I have, the designer of this particular logo, his family, the father who was a DMK MLA, and I have this picture has Mr. Karunanidhi also. He is being felicitated. So is Mr. Stalin rejecting this also? I want to ask you, how will you like to respond to these things? And why is Congress party silent on something as serious as this?
Well, Heena, let me tell you that end of day, what you're witnessing at the moment, whether it's a three-language formula or the entire apprehension that a lot of people have about the delimitation exercise, that there is a lot of, shall we say, opaqueness. You had a statement made the other day by India's Home Minister, Mr. Shah, where he said that the number of seats that the southern states have or their representation will not diminish. But on the other hand, it also raises the question that will the representation of the other states in, say, the northern part of India, will that increase? So, there are a lot of complex issues here. And I think what I can read, I'm not the spokesperson for the DMK at all, that this is a metaphor. What you're witnessing is a metaphor. And, let us not add an unnecessary hysteria to it for the simple reason that if you look at this three-language formula, Heena, it is not constitutionally mandated. It's not law. Even today, the three-language formula basically gives the flexibility to the states to choose their languages, including the native language that they would like. Now, everyone has English and a native language, and they have an option to have the third language or not. But remember that it is not mandated. You cannot coerce them into doing it. So if you really argue on a practical level, effectively, we are having a two-language formula in practice while there is a three-language formula in the new education policy, and it has been part of the education policy.
Mr. Sanjay Jha, two issues, that have come before this national currency issue, and you're talking about the language issue first and then the delimitation thing. In the language issue, even DMK has been saying from day one that there is no direct imposition of Hindi that's happening. It's their understanding. They say indirectly the center is trying to impose Hindi. So it's a narrative that the DMK is trying to push. On the delimitation issue, the census exercise has not even started. And last time when it happened, the number of seats in the Lok Sabha would not really change. So we don't know. So that's why we are asking, is, an attempt being made to polarize? That's the question that I'm asking, because in politics, it's all about symbolism. You started by saying that. What is the intention here? What is the message that DMK is trying to send? Is it because it's facing anti-incumbency? Elections are due in 2026. It's preparing the ground to flare emotions? Is this not a step towards polarization, sir?
No, Heena, I think that's a reductionist argument, because everyone will say there is an election coming up, which is again much later next year. But that's still a long way to go, and a week is a long time in politics. And as far as the DMK's popularity is concerned, don't forget the DMK Congress combined thumped the opposition in the Lok Sabha elections less than a year ago. I don't think there is any necessarily a political ramification immediately.
Okay.
But I think central government needs to be a lot more transparent on the issue of delimitation for sure. There should be a lot more dialogue. I mean, I'm surprised how an all-party meeting has not even happened on that. Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Are we going to freeze at 543? Does it mean...
Now, that's the point, and I want to take that point across to Mr. S. Harish Mohammed Ibrahim as well, who is back with us right now, that as Mr. Sanjay Jha also mentioned, centre needs to be transparent. Nothing has even started. Anything to do with delimitation. We don't know when exactly the census will happen, what is the plan of the centre as far as delimitation exercise is concerned. So why is the DMK making it a big issue today? And I want to ask you about, replacing the national currency icon with another symbol that represents Tamil.
See, you are not even adapting that as another symbol. It is one among the official language. The Ru, which has been replaced by the symbol, which has been already promulgated by 2010. It is an official language of India. You wanted to make sure, and it is a state budget, by the way, and the entire state machinery has whatever has to do with their own budget. They have their limitations to do. And number two...
No, states can do anything with their budgets. Nobody is stopping them. But the question is that there is a national identity. There is a national currency symbol that the country follows. In that case, states do not have specific currencies. You tell me something. Tomorrow, one second, for the benefit of our viewers, I want to ask you a question. Tomorrow, if some foreign companies come to Tamil Nadu and they sign an MOU or some kind of a deal with the government of Tamil Nadu, what symbol will you use to represent, the currency, the money? What symbol will you like to use? Will you use the Indian rupee symbol, or will you use what has been used, in the budget today?
I asked the same query to you.
No, you answer my question. No, what will you use?
See, every currency has 22 official languages imprinted on each and every currency in India, and they can notify on any other terms which the state is willing to, and whether there is any constitutional mandate has been given that you have to address the currency only by the name or by the symbol which has been promulgated. No, there is no constitutional mandate, and every linguistic pride has been mandated under the constitution by Article 349 to 351. So 343 to 351. Each and every constitutional article has been promulgated to make sure that each and every linguistic pride of each and every region has to be respected. Whether the central government is doing that? No. How come one of the official language, Hindi, is being imposed on Tamil Nadu? Tamil Nadu has been vehemently made sure that you run an English channel now, because the Hindi imposition, when the Official Languages Act was being promulgated way back in 1947 after the independence, Tamil Nadu stood strong to make sure that English become another official language other than Hindi.
Okay.
Only because of that, you are running an English channel now.
Okay.
Or only a nationwide, there will be a only Hindi channel.
Okay.
And one second, another way, each and every Marathi, Bhojpuri and all the regional languages like this way, the same way the Hindi has been imposed on the other states, the entire regional languages has been killed.
Tushar wants to respond to what you're saying. Then I'll go across to Shekhar Iyer as well, who's joined us in the debate. Senior journalist Shekhar Iyer also with us. Tushar, to you first and then Mr. Shekhar Iyer.
Okay, look, I come from the state of Punjab. I have grown up there. The native language there was Punjabi, a language I learned. I can write in Punjabi, I can read in Punjabi. But I also learn Hindi. I also learned Hindi in school while growing up. Now, who describes imposition? The speaker before me says Hindi is being imposed on Tamil Nadu. I'm sorry, how does that work? There are citizens in Tamil Nadu who have moved up north, learned the language and succeeded. So will you say they have been forced to move up north, learn a language so that they can succeed? Absolutely not. We, as people of North Indian states, have grown up watching movies that have been produced, directed, curated in Tamil Nadu, which have been dubbed in Hindi languages. Now, will we call that imposition? Will the people in Tamil Nadu who have enjoyed the success of these movies, which have a pan-India outreach, because of the dubbing in Hindi language, say this is some sort of imposition? I'm sorry, this ambiguity about imposition, this is all very subjective. He talks about linguistic pride. Exactly. There are times when you have to think as a nation of 1.4 billion people. There are times when you have to think as a state of Tamil Nadu. But more often you'll think as a national identity, as you rightly pointed out, that tomorrow if some industry comes in, an MOU needs to be signed, what is the national symbols you're going to be used? So I don't understand which is the imposition that is happening. Why can't you let the people decide for themselves? Your voters are smart enough, literate enough, let them decide what is being imposed on them. Why are you being the spokesperson of some imaginary imposition that you yourself have proclaimed inside a room? How does this really work?
Mr. Shekhar Iyer, how will you like to respond? Because there seems to be a pattern here. You know, it began with the language issue, the 3-language policy. I mean, still DMK has not been able to tell us that where does the policy say that Hindi is going to be imposed. And then came the delimitation issue where even the process has not started. Nobody knows whether that's going to change the number of Lok Sabha seats on the basis of population or not, or the status quo is going to be maintained, you know, the way it happened the last time. And now we have third flashpoint, wherein the symbol of Indian currency, which is a national symbol, which is a part of our national identity, that has been changed by Tamil Nadu government in the budget papers. What does it tell you, sir?
Well, Heena, we must understand this is all a build-up for the next year's assembly elections. And the DMK government there has been defensive when it comes to its achievements. Some of its allies, including Congress, are not very happy how they are going to face the next year's election. And now the whole idea is, why are they doing these little things? They want the nation to be outraged. They want central government to get outraged. The whole idea is you show that you can offend. Then once there is a reaction, then show you are the victim. See, there is a tactics in this. Now look, Stalin has an English name. Does he have a Tamil name? Udayanidhi. It's a name based on Sanskrit word. Karunanidhi, these are not Tamil words. Now, how long they are going to go on changing? I think what has happened is that DMK leadership is in a squandary. That's very clear. And their allies, even the Congress leadership at the center, they have left it to the Tamil Nadu leaders who are dependent on DMK support for getting a seat, contesting a seat and winning a seat. So you will find Congress MPs who won on the basis of the alliance with DMK, they will be supporting. But the party itself has to think the elections are coming in Bihar. That is why Prashant Kishore, who is an advisor for the new political player on the seat, refused to sign.
Vijay.
That actor Vijay said, go back. I mean, basically saying, go back Hindi, go back North. Now, this whole North thing is a very convenient, easy tool. It's a time-tested. They realize, and also don't forget, Heena, this is happening at a time when the law enforcement officials have stepped up raids. And they are raiding even the state-run marketing federation, which is actually sells the liquor in Tamil Nadu, Tasma. There's a lot going on there, and this is the only way they can divert, because people on the street know there is a hell lot of corruption going on. And corruption is an issue, even the allies of the DMK are not able to support. So the whole idea is do little things which doesn't fall foul of the law. But definitely it can cause an outrage. When there is an outrage, then two people will give gali to Tamil Nadu or Tamil. Then you say, look, they are treating us like for instance, Dharmendra Pradhan's outburst. He said the MPs are behaving in an uncivilized way. They turned it into saying the entire Tamil Nadu is being described as an uncivilized state. See, they are looking for, this is playing the victim card, but to play a victim card, you have to offend. You have to cause an outrage. This is a very convenient thing, because you see, already in Tamil Nadu, this Rupee, the Ru, that is already used. I mean, you will see it in the back of magazines and newspapers. I mean, it's commonly used. I mean, there is no dispute about that. Nobody is bothered. But the whole idea is to create an outrage. And if there is an outrage, then play the victim. Because they are worried about keeping up the tempo till the next year. Because elections are due only in April, May. How do they keep going? Because at any stage, for instance, all these build-ups. Tomorrow there is a drought-like condition, the rains fail. They will be at loggerheads with Karnataka now. You think Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar will be with them? See, all this is fraught with so many uncertainties. They are worried how to keep up the tempo.
Okay, Mr. S. Harish, how will you like to respond? And then I'll go across to Sanjay Jha as well. S. Harish, is it a recipe? Is it part of some kind of a strategy to ignite this thought to start working on this North versus South narrative so that, eventually you can play the victim card?
I request you to give me the same kind of uninterrupted 2 minutes to give my points in the forum. Okay?
Last time also I gave you uninterrupted 2 minutes. I did not interrupt at all. I asked you a question in between, then I gave you time to respond. By the way, for our viewers, Dr. Syed Hafiz, spokesperson of the DMK, has also joined us. Good evening. I'll come to you in just a bit. Mr. Harish, go ahead.
Yeah, you have already taken 30 seconds. Please give me another 1.30 seconds.
Go ahead, please.
Number one, this is not a symbolic thing. We, as a Tamilian, have stood for our linguistic pride, not only now. The language has been existed for almost 5,000 plus years. We don't want any kind of imposition. Not only it is a linguistic imposition, whether any kind of imposition by any kind of authoritarian union government. Number two, and this linguistic pride has been existed with hundreds of lives have been lost in the Hindi imposition movement during 1960s. We don't want any kind of impositions to be happen by any kind of Nagpur ruling party in Tamil Nadu. We vehemently will oppose that. Number three, and which the union government is taking lessons to Tamil Nadu, which is contributing 9.1% of the GDP. And we have been having the per capita income of 2.78 lakh on per capita income, where the national average is 1.67 lakh. And you are trying to teach what is civilized manner. Mr. Pradhan, you have to learn, the entire India should learn what you mean by civilization from rest of Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
We have not only given the civilization to entire world behind.
I didn't interrupt you, Mr. S. Harish. You got more than 1 minute 30 seconds. Let me now go across to Dr. Syed Hafiz, spokesperson of the DMK. I know Tushar also wants to respond. I'll come to you in just a bit. Dr. Syed Hafiz, I want your response on the big controversy from Tamil Nadu today. And I want to ask you, this symbol that you have replaced, sir, it was designed by a Tamilian. It was adopted, it was approved by the UPA government in 2010. 3 of your DMK leaders were ministers in that UPA government when Dr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister. It was felicitated, this man who designed it was felicitated by Mr. There you can see Karunanidhi. I'm showing this picture on the screens right now for our viewers. And today, Stalin government in Tamil Nadu has rejected it. So what are you rejecting? Are you just rejecting Devanagari here, or are you actually rejecting what Tamilians did, in last so many years? And why wake up after 15 long years?
Rejected last year also. If you see the logo of last year, we had that same Devanagari script. But you have to understand, a logo represents the theme of anything we are doing. The theme of this budget, it's not only the Devanagari script that has been taken off from the last year. The entire theme has changed now. The theme has included Electoral, which means everything for everybody. And it has also showed the graph how the Tamil Nadu is improving HDI and all the fiscal parameters. So the logo has a lot of symbols in which the Devanagari is replaced with Tamil Rupee to show how partial is the union government towards giving the funds for the state to present its budget. It is as simple as that. It is not illegal, it is not unconstitutional. It is designed by Tamil, we have felicitated, so nothing wrong about it. Now the problem is, here's the union government which throws the third language on us, which gives false information saying that we agreed for a 3-language policy, and it says that we will withhold funds not only for PM Shri. Why do you hold RTE funds? Why do you hold teacher technology training funds? Just because we have not accepted PM Shri. Is that not unfair? From devolution to all the funds, when we give 1 rupee, you give just 29 paise back to us. All this has to be represented into the logo. So it's a very fair right of the state government to design the logo by itself. It is absolutely not illegal. It's absolutely not unconstitutional. We are trying to voice ourselves to the people of Tamil Nadu and the rest of the nation that how unfair this union government can be when it comes to
You have given your reasons to justify what the Tamil Nadu government has done, but I want to ask you again what I asked, because you didn't answer my question. You have rejected something that a Tamilian only had designed. And why are you waking up 15 years later? Why was it not rejected when it was, when it came to the government in 2010? Why did you approve it then? Why did Mr. Karunanidhi felicitate the designer? Because, it's all about symbolism. Even this symbol that you have replaced, sir, it's not just about Devanagari that it represents. It is our national identity. It is the symbol of our national currency. Tomorrow, I asked this question earlier to Mr. S. Harish also. Tomorrow, if some foreign companies, one second. Tomorrow, if some foreign companies come to the state of Tamil Nadu, what will you speak to them about? The national currency, the symbol that's there of the rupee that's acceptable across the world, or you will use what you have used on the budget papers?
Yes. For you to understand, I have given an answer very clearly. We have no problem with the Devanagari script. We are a part of this nation. We encourage national integration. We are for national unity. But in the context or the pretext of national unity, we will not tolerate something being thrust upon ourselves, on the people of Tamil Nadu, which is a form of protest. So your question is basically illogical to say why you did not protest. Unless and until we had our say when the relations between the state government and union government were as per the constitution, we never had a problem. So once you come and meddle with this, an existing system and a settled law and a settled principle, you come and threaten us saying you'll not give us funds. You call us uncivilized just because we voice the people of
So you will start rejecting the national symbols. You will begin this identity war. You will start preparing ground for North versus South. Tushar Gupta, please respond.
Someone is saying that since we were called uncivilized, a remark that the minister has now withdrawn, we will launch a protest. I want to ask, the minister of their party made a very obnoxious statement regarding Hinduism, linking it to diseases. So what kind of protest should people from other parts of India register? I'm listening to the two DMK representatives on this panel very politely, and I think they've forgotten they are part of a larger country and we have to think as countries first. Now, my simple question to Mr. Ibrahim and to Mr. Hafiz is, what is going to be the symbol of dollar in the budget? Of the pound, of the euro, if at all? Is that English imposition or is that acceptable? Because we do not have a Hindi-Tamil problem. See, this is selective convenience. Again, you talk about representation, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. There is linguistic pride, I can understand that. But when you talk about representation, why do you get confused during delimitation? When the topic of representation and delimitation comes up, why then you launch a protest? You want representation when it comes to languages. You want representation when it comes to education policy. But suddenly, when it comes to equally representation and delimitation, you have a problem as to why the North Indian states might get more benefit on the imaginary theories you are cooking up, because right now no one really knows how the delimitation will be done. So your representation is also very selective based on what political topic you're going to choose. Heena, to put it simply, and this will be my final remark, it's all about the state assembly election next year. Right now, they want to think of a state first because it's a state assembly election. Had it been a Lok Sabha election, it would have been a very nationalistic sentiment in the debate, and the selective convenience would have worked otherwise.
Okay. I will like Dr. Syed Hafiz to respond to what Tushar Gupta has said. State first, because state assembly elections are coming next year.
No, people who have understood the constitution and the federalism of this country and how this country was formed, every state is as equal as a nation. So for a nation, you cannot compromise a state, and for a state, you cannot compromise a nation.
I agree with you, but what about our national identity? Tomorrow you will say, I want to have a different national state bird for Tamil Nadu. I reject the national bird of India. I reject the national anthem of India. Is that going to be the next thing that we expect from Tamil Nadu, sir?
Harish Ibrahim is true. The claim of Harish Ibrahim is true. You come and interrupt us every 2 minutes, every 1 minute. Then
okay, go ahead.
Supposed to give you give us 2 minutes. No. But same kind of questioning is not there for the other panelists. You have to be fair as an anchor. This is the problem.
I gave you ample amount of time last time also. I am giving you time to respond now also. I mean, make your point. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. I'm making a point. See, dollar, nobody from the US is coming and imposing us saying if you don't accept American supremacy, you're not going to get the funds. Nobody from the UK is coming if you don't accept pounds, don't accept the England supremacy, you're not going to get the funds. That is not the picture. This is a dialogue. This is a form of protest between the union government and the state government, which the union government is not acting as per the constitution by withholding the funds, or thirsting a third language, which is completely a matter of concurrent list. So all this has to be expressed. That is the voice of Tamil Nadu. It has nothing to do with the election. This we did it in 1937, madam. What was there? DMK wasn't even founded. Tamil Nadu has this history. So don't link this with politics. And please, for the other panelists, understand federalism, understand state, the power of the state and the union. By Ambedkar, it says both are equal. So you cannot say you have to compromise a state to strengthen a nation. Unless and until you don't strengthen the cooperative federalism, you cannot bring national integration and you cannot improve the national unity. That is the basic concept. All this form of protest by the DMK is to strengthen this nation. It has nothing to do with
nothing to do with the upcoming elections. We should not link both of these. Even though in delimitation nothing has started from the center side, there is nothing that is going to, nothing in the new education policy that is going to impose Hindi on a particular state. But we should not link it to the elections at all. Tushar Gupta and then Sanjay Jha, last word.
No, I heard he said this is a concurrent subject. Can Mr. Hafiz tell us, because he's giving us a good knowledge about federalism, what prevails if we talk about a subject and the concurrent list, the parliament or the state legislative assembly? Who prevails in the context of a subject and the concurrent list, the parliament or the state legislative assembly? Since we're talking about federalism.
Dr. Said?
To answer when it comes to an act, Parliament prevails. SSA is not an act. PMC is not an act. It is a regulation. When it comes to regulation, both the state and the union has the same say. When it comes to an act, a parliamentary act is superior. When it comes to regulation, the state regulations and the union regulations are the same. That has been upheld by multiple Supreme Court judgments, for your information.
So if it's not an act, how is it an imposition, sir? If it's not an act, how is it an imposition? Because you have been saying for the last 20 minutes it's an imposition. You said it's an imposition by the authoritarian union government, sir. No. You said it's an imposition by the authoritarian union government. Now you say it's not an act, it's a regulation. You're contradicting your own stance. Within 20 minutes, you're contradicting your own stance. If it's not an act, how is it an authoritarian union government imposing anything on you? It's not an act.
That is why we are fighting with you. That is why we are fighting with you, because it is not an act. That is why we are
saying. So if it were an act, you would follow? So if three-language policy was an act, you would implement it?
Well, gentlemen, both of you calm down, because that's how it all started, this debate around the three-language policy and DMK insisting that there is Hindi imposition that's happening from the center side. And, this debate is just continuing every single day. But now we are seeing new twists and all emerging, with DMK making it clear, don't link it to the elections. It has got nothing to do with the elections at all. Our viewers have heard all sides here. Since I promised Sanjay Jha, I want to give last word to Sanjay Jha, 10 seconds closing comments, and I'll have to wind up this debate.
I just want to point out one fact. The beauty of our country is its linguistic, its cultural, and its diversity across regions. I mean, just to look at one fact, we have 22 official languages, we have 20,000 dialects. Let us learn to respect our uniqueness. And there doesn't have to be an imposition of a monochromatic culture, which is exactly what we need to understand here. And don't forget, Heena, that if you look at the states like Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, they have all grown with fantastic enrollment ratios in schools. They have high literacy rates, and the states have prospered in terms of GDP contribution. So why do we need to just throw the cat among the pigeons? This is not the time to get into a polarized debate, but learn to respect the independence of states, respect federalism.
I think you've made very important points, and that's something that we expect the politicians to also do, perhaps not indulge in polarizing or attempt some kind of a north-south divide. It is one country and many states, and it is our diversity that makes all our states extremely special, and we should have respect for each other. But unfortunately, there is a lot of politics happening. We all know elections are due in the next few months, and we can expect this to just intensify. I'm completely out of time, but thank you very much, all of you, for joining us here on debate number 1.